What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. In our first news, Brendan Allen reflected on his big win over RDR, which came by TKO after RDR's corner threw in the towel at the end of the fourth round. RDR was visibly exhausted and unable to continue into the final frame, giving Allen a hard-earned and emotional victory. Speaking after the fight, Allen said it felt great to come out on top, especially given the short preparation time. "Bigger the risk, bigger the reward," he said. "I went out there and broke him. It took me one more round than I expected, but not too shabby for 3.5 weeks of training. Life is good. I'm going to go home, enjoy some family time, and get some mental rest." Allen explained that throughout the fight, his corner kept motivating him by pointing out RDR's exhaustion. They told him, "Look at him, he can't even get up," and that gave him confidence. Going into the 5th round, Allen said he knew it was his time to finish the job. "I was like, I'm on you this round. I knew if I took him down again, I was going to put even more damage on him. 25 minutes is a long time to take punishment, especially this kind of damage," he said with confidence and pride. The victory meant even more to Allen considering the circumstances. With only 3.5 weeks of preparation, he managed to stay composed, execute his plan, and show that his conditioning and mindset were on another level. After the fight, he made it clear he was ready to go home, spend time with his wife and kids, and just be a husband and father for a while. "They're the best change I ever made," he said. "I'm surrounded by people who truly care about me, my well-being, and my future. It's a special bond, and this week it really felt like all the stars aligned." Allen also mentioned how the passing of Coach Duke Roufus gave him extra motivation heading into this fight. It reminded him why he fights and who he fights for. "I've been here, I've done this, and that hype train's got to go," he said with a smile. "Hop on now if you want, but for now, I just need a break. A couple of months off to reevaluate, be with my family, and recharge." After an active year filled with big performances, Brendan Allen closed by saying he's at the top of his game and ready for whatever comes next when the time is right. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news, Umar Nurmagomedov has shared his thoughts on the upcoming rematch between Pereira and Merab, and he completely agrees with Henry Cejudo. Umar believes that if Yan doesn't get the knockout, Merab is going to absolutely maul him. He said that since their last fight, Merab has improved a lot. His wrestling has gotten sharper, his cardio has become even better, and his pace is something few fighters can handle for 5 full rounds. Umar explained that Merab showed massive growth in his last fight against Corey Sandhagen. He proved that he can wrestle and pressure opponents all night long without slowing down. According to Umar, that's going to be a huge problem for Peter Yan, because Yan doesn't have strong defensive wrestling. While Yan's hands are dangerous and his striking remains elite, his inability to stop relentless takedowns is where Merab will capitalize. Umar acknowledged that Yan can always end the fight with his powerful boxing and crisp combinations. He said Yan has good arms and can absolutely land a TKO if he connects clean, but if that knockout doesn't come early, then things are going to turn bad for him quickly. Merab's constant forward pressure, chain wrestling, and ground control could completely overwhelm Yan once again. Umar added that this matchup is all about moments. If Peter can hurt Merab early, maybe he can change the fight's direction. But if Merab starts dictating the pace, dragging Yan to the mat, and forcing him to defend for long stretches, then the outcome will look just like their first fight, only worse. Umar finished by saying that Merab is too well-rounded, too conditioned, and too confident right now. If Yan doesn't land that one big shot, Merab will dominate and maul him from start to finish. Moving on to another news, the MMA community had plenty to say after RDR's tough loss to Brendan Allen at UFC Vancouver. The fight ended when RDR's corner threw in the towel at the end of the 4th round, and fans, fighters, and analysts were quick to react online. The middleweight division in particular didn't hold back with their thoughts on RDR's performance and how the fight played out. Khamzat reacted first, posting bluntly, "This bull guy give up," clearly unimpressed by how the fight ended. His comment quickly went viral, sparking mixed reactions from fans. Nasruddin Imavov joined in, simply writing, "Knew it," with a laughing and crying emoji, adding to the wave of criticism RDR faced after the loss. Paulo Costa also chimed in with his signature humor, saying, "If I knew it would only last 4 rounds, I would go for it." His comment was a playful jab, suggesting he could have stepped in and finished RDR sooner. Marvin Vittori added his own message, calling RDR out directly with a short but cutting remark, showing little sympathy for the former champion. Baralho had a more curious take, asking, "Did RDR get injured in the fight, or did he just give up?" Real question, guys. His comment seemed to echo what many were wondering after seeing RDR unable to continue into the 5th round. Meanwhile, Jamahal Hill posted his live reaction video, clearly hyped by the result. He was seen shouting, "Let's go! He broke him! He broke him! He ain't coming out! He ain't answering the bell! Let's go!" Hill's excitement reflected how big of a statement win this was for Brendan Allen, who proved himself once again as one of the most dangerous middleweights in the division. The reactions across the MMA world showed just how much RDR's loss shook things up in the middleweight landscape. tape. Moving on to another news, after RDR's disappointing performance against Brendan Allen, the MMA world erupted with reactions from fans, fighters, and analysts alike. Many called RDR a quitter after his corner threw in the towel before the 5th round, bringing a shocking end to what was expected to be a competitive title eliminator. Among those who reacted was Khamzat, who took to social media calling RDR a BS guy who gave up, clearly unimpressed with the way the fight ended. It was a surprising moment, considering RDR had been hyped as one of the few middleweights who could challenge Khamzat's dominance. But after this performance, all of that momentum vanished overnight. Dana White also weighed in, praising Brendan Allen for his composure and dominant showing, while criticizing RDR for looking flat and failing to rise to the occasion. Dana said, "Allen absolutely murdered this thing. The fight had potential, but you need 2 guys ready to go." RDR looked slow tonight. He got out-wrestled, struggled with Allen's speed, and just couldn't keep up. The UFC president's comments echoed the thoughts of many fans who expected more from RDR, given his experience and championship pedigree. The loss was even more disappointing because RDR had looked strong early in the fight, but as the rounds went on, his energy faded, and Allen began to take complete control. The way RDR quit on the stool shocked many, as he had always been known for his toughness and willingness to battle through adversity. Fighters across the middleweight division also chimed in with their thoughts. Nassourdine Imavov reacted simply with "knew it," adding a laughing emoji, while Baralho asked, "Did RDR get injured in the fight or did he just give up? Real question, guys." Paulo Costa joked, "If I knew it would only last 4 rounds, I would go for it," continuing his trademark humor. Marvin Vettori kept it blunt, throwing in a harsh remark toward RDR after the fight. Despite RDR's stumble, the middleweight division remains one of the most stacked in the UFC, with Allen breaking into the top 5. Another big win could put him directly into the title conversation. As of now, Nassourdine Imavov seems next in line for the champion, while names like Strickland and Fluffy continue to keep the division exciting and unpredictable. The loss might be a huge setback for RDR, but the story of how he responds will determine whether he can rebuild and remain a contender among the middleweight elite. Moving on to another news, Brendan Allen pulled off one of the biggest wins of his career by defeating RDR, who shocked fans when he quit on the stool after the 4th round of their title eliminator at UFC Vancouver. It was a moment no one expected, especially considering how strong RDR looked early on. In the 1st round, he appeared calm, composed, and in full control, but once Allen found his rhythm, everything changed. From the 2nd round onward, Allen began to out-grapple RDR, controlling the fight from the top and wearing him down with relentless pressure. By the end of the 3rd round, RDR was completely drained, unable to keep up with the pace. The exhaustion on his face said it all. He simply couldn't continue, and his corner threw in the towel before the 5th. For Allen, the victory was not just another win, it was a statement. Coming in as the underdog, he flipped the script, dominated one of the most respected grapplers in the division, and proved that his skill set belongs among the elite. After the fight, Allen didn't waste a second before setting his sights higher. In his post-fight interview with MMA Junkie, he called out the middleweight champion Khamzat, declaring that he's ready to dethrone him if given the opportunity. Allen confidently stated that he believes his grappling and overall fight IQ make him a serious threat to anyone, including Khamzat. He said, "Like I've said before, I speak grappling fluently. His wrestling is really good, obviously, but my jiu-jitsu is really good too. I have the best minds and the best team to prepare me for any style. If that fight happens now or later, I'll be ready. With a full camp, I can take on anyone in the world." Allen also explained how he approached the fight with RDR strategically. He said he knew RDR couldn't keep up that level of pressure for 5 rounds. He was squeezing too hard in the 1st, trying to control everything, but that's not sustainable, Allen said. There's no way he could keep that kind of pace for more than 2 rounds, let alone 5, so I just stayed smart and composed. I let him burn himself out, and once I found my openings, I took over. Allen emphasized that patience was key. 25 minutes is a long time. You have to stay calm, keep calculating, and figure out your opponent's rhythm. I just moved a bit, watched how he reacted, and slowly took the fight away from him. If the Khamzat fight doesn't materialize, Allen also mentioned that he's open to facing Du Plessis next, saying he's confident his team can prepare him to beat any top middleweight. After this dominant win, Allen has cemented himself as a legitimate contender and one of the most dangerous grapplers in the division. Moving on to another news, Henry Cejudo shared his honest take on the upcoming rematch between Peter Yan and Merab at UFC 323. Cejudo believes that the only way for Yan to win this fight is by knocking Merab out. According to Henry, Merab has proven time and again that he's simply operating on another level right now. He said he doesn't really see a world where Yan comes in and dethrones Merab because Merab's relentless pace, pressure, and wrestling are just too much for anyone in the division. Henry explained that Yan's best chance lies in the early rounds. He suggested that if Peter wants any shot at victory, he needs to go after Merab right from the start, attack his body, and look for that knockout early on. Cejudo pointed out that Yan doesn't have the wrestling to keep up with Merab, and trying to match him there would only tire him out faster. He added that Merab Merab is not the type to gas out or slow down, and if Jan can't hurt him early, it's only going to get worse as the fight goes on. Henry also mentioned that Jan is not known as a submission threat. He's never seen him go for a submission in any of his fights, which means his entire path to victory relies on striking and finding that one big shot. Cejudo said that gives Merab even more freedom to impose his wrestling and grind Jan down, just like he did in their first fight. He recalled that according to coach John Wood, things might actually be tougher for Jan this time around. While Jan claimed he was only at 40% in their last matchup, Merab was reportedly dealing with an illness during that fight as well. Now, with both fighters healthy, Cejudo believes Merab has only improved. He highlighted how Merab has fought 4 times within a single calendar year, showing incredible consistency and dedication. Henry concluded by saying the UFC loves active champions, and Merab fighting every few months proves he's built different. He deserves all the praise and maybe even a trophy for keeping that kind of pace.